know your ex-husband that I stole from you? Guess what? He got a promotion!
Yeah, I heard about that. He became a professor in a university hospital 2 years ago, didn't he?
Oh, so you already knew. I thought you should have been more surprised by this information.
Ah, I see.
Well, it's been a while that we haven't spoken on WhatsApp, and you're acting so cold towards me. Are you still holding a grudge about something that happened 5 years ago? It was ages ago now.
I'm busy, that's all. Can you just leave it?
What are you busy with? Just handing out medicine to people is such an easy job. You're too incompetent to even keep that job.
Being a pharmacist is a nationally recognized qualification, you realize. And it's not easy work at all.
Even I could do something as easy as that.
But whose fault do you think it is that I quit this job?
Well, I just told Johnny you were having an affair. And everyone believed it at the hospital. I guess everyone at the hospital was gossiping about it all the time.
It seemed he was talking to people so that he could get some sympathy and pity. And because of this, people were giving me dirty looks all the time at work. I had no choice but to end up quitting in the end. It was terrible.
Oh my, poor you. I offer you my deepest condolences.
But I never had an affair in the first place. You know that. Why did you tell that lie to Johnny?
Well, it's true that you were messing around with a guy, no? And there is even photo evidence of this knocking about.
But what you showed Johnny was a photo from when I was a student.
Well, when you were wandering about the city, you did do some sneaky things. You'd sometimes walk around with this middle-aged man, so I rushed to snap a picture of you both together.
But the guy I was with was just a customer. All we were doing was getting food out together. That's it.
What were you doing? Working as some sort of female entertainer or some sort of escort?
Yes, just to make money to pay for my college fees. Dad said he was not going to give me even 1 cent, so I had no other choice but to work.
You were a stripper, weren't you? I also worked in one of those types of bars for a while. But there were never women as ugly as you working in those places.
Hey, just quit it. Stop making things up. I can't believe you are not even apologizing to me for everything you've done. You really are the worst.
Yeah, but if it's not the truth as you say, then it shouldn't be a problem, right? You should have just explained yourself to Johnny, no? Why didn't you do that?
I had never told Johnny that I worked in those types of bars when I was a student. And so he said that he couldn't believe me because I had explained this to him afterwards and not before.
There really is zero trust between you two. But it's a divorce on the grounds of adultery, isn't it? I guess it's a good thing that he didn't sue you. Johnny's a really nice guy, isn't he? You're actually pretty lucky.
A nice guy. He totally screwed me over out of spite and I didn't get any of the assets.
Gosh, he threw you out with not even 1 cent to your name? That is pretty miserable.
Both Johnny and my work colleagues wouldn't believe what I was saying at all. And Dad also took your side with this matter, as expected. So at that time, I didn't have the energy to argue about money. I was already exhausted by everything else that was happening.
Wow, you're ugly and no one believed you. What a sad situation. But I'm beautiful, so I was able to get married to Johnny. I'm happy that I ended up with him. It's destiny, isn't it? You really are a winner when you've got a winning face like mine.
Okay, just leave it, would you? It's getting really tiresome speaking to you. You just bring up the past and I've had enough. I can't deal with you anymore.
Hey there, just wait a minute, won't you? I didn't contact you just so we could have a chat about the past. I have an important matter to talk to you about today. So that's why I've gone out of my way to get back in touch with you.
Okay. Tell me then. What is it?
Have you heard that Dad's health is deteriorating? It's not great. He's in a bad way.
Since everything that went on 5 years ago, we have been estranged. We haven't spoken at all. So I haven't heard anything at all.
It seems like he has some sort of brain disease. He now requires care.
Oh, right, I see. I didn't know this.
So yeah, please do the nursing.
What?
As a doctor's wife, I am a busy woman and I have lots of work to do. I can't be a nurse as well. It's too much stress for me to handle.
Hey, you're a housewife. You don't have any work to do. Stop making stuff up. And you were the one who was spoiled rotten by Dad. He loved you more than he loved me. So why don't you give that love back to him now? It's time for you to do something in return.
Yes, Mom is saying that too, and now I don't know what to do. He's been good to you, so the least you can do is help him out now. Blah, blah, blah. I'm being asked to do ridiculous things. I don't like it.
Why are you being like this? If you don't want to do it yourself, you can just ask Johnny, right? Can't you hire a professional carer yourselves or something?
Well, it's a shame if you can't use your parents' money, right? You might as well.
Oh, wow. You really are a heartless human being. I can't believe this.
Well, aren't you as well?
When I was a kid, I was constantly compared to you. People always compared my looks to yours. Even my parents told me they didn't want to spend money on an ugly kid like me. I don't want to care for people who treated me like that. It's too much.
Huh?
You were the one who was doted on all the time. And you didn't have to pay for your college fees. They gave you the money for it. And even when it came to living your everyday life, they also paid for that, didn't they? Up until the moment that you married Johnny, you were receiving money from them the whole time, weren't you?
But that's something that they decided to do. It's not my fault that they wanted to give me money. And now, wouldn't it be a bit ridiculous for me to return the favor?
Yeah. So can you stop trying to make me do things that you don't want to do? I'm also busy with work. I don't have time to be a carer.
Huh? You're working?
Do you really think I haven't been employed for 5 years? Did you think I was unemployed all this time?
Well, you're so incompetent. So, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I thought that you were definitely homeless or something.
Well, that's not true. At all.
It doesn't seem like an important job anyway. Even though you went to university. You just ended up doing an easy job giving out medicines to people.
I've told you loads of times, it's not a simple job. If you don't have sufficient knowledge, you can't do it. It requires training and skills.
Don't be such an arrogant show-off. So, anyway, how about caring for Dad? You're gonna do it, right? I'll leave it up to you. Thanks.
I told you there is no way. Aren't you listening to me at all? My name is Katie. I'm a 34-year-old divorcee. My sister, Vicky, who is 4 years older, always got more love and affection than me from my parents. She was their favorite. I think that's why she grew up to be a selfish person. And for a long time, she has looked down on me and was generally rude and mean to me. I hated having a family like that. So I decided that I had to become independent from them. There was no other option. When I was a student, I studied morning and evening, as much as I could. And I obtained my qualification to become a pharmacist. I was so happy. After graduating, I found a job at the university hospital. This is where I met my ex-husband, Johnny, who was a doctor. We got married. But introducing him to my parents and my sister was a complete mistake. My sister was interested in Johnny, and all she wanted to do was break us up. So she fooled Johnny with a bunch of lies. In the end, we had to get divorced. My sister unashamedly got married to Johnny instead. After that, I fell into a depressive pit of endless unhappiness. It was terrible. So 5 years have passed, and I felt a bit better. Work is going well, and I have basically forgotten everything that happened with my sister. I have to admit, though, that I was a bit worried about my dad. I guess I love him after all. But after they treated me like this, I still don't feel like forgiving my family. So I refuse to care for my dad. However, my older sister, who refuses to listen, was acting in a completely outrageous manner. And she seemed determined to want to ruin my peace yet again.
Wow, you're working at a popular cosmetics company? Who would have thought it? Anyway, it's probably a very unimportant job. I can't imagine that you are doing any useful work there.
Huh? How did you know I was working there? I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you.
Well, I asked you to care for Dad, but it doesn't seem like you are ever at home.
Yes, which is why I refuse to care for him. I don't have time and I'm working.
So I had to ask a detective agency to check on you and find out where you worked. And Mom keeps pestering me with annoying messages. I can't deal with them anymore. If you don't come home quickly, it's gonna be really difficult. You better come home now.
Well, why don't you do something for once instead of asking someone else to do it for you? Mom is asking you to help out, right? Just do it.
I don't want to. No way.
No matter what you say, I'm not going to be his carer.
Well, shall I just do what I did last time and spread a nasty rumor and make you unemployed again?
Huh?
The reason why you cheated is because you can't help yourself. You're just obsessed with men. I'll say that. When people from work find this out, it's gonna be really difficult for you not to quit, isn't it?
So is that why you wanted to find out where I worked? I can't believe it. You really are a heartless woman.
Well, if you don't want to lose your job again, you better listen to what I am saying. So anyway, please make sure you do what I say. Otherwise, you know what's gonna happen.
Okay, I'm home.
You finally accepted then. Great, thanks for doing the caring.
I'm not going to be doing that. I told you.
Huh? As if.
I've come here to talk to Mom about it. That's why I'm here. That's all I came back here to do.
Are you messing around with me? If you don't do the care work, you know what I'm gonna do. I'll tell all your colleagues at work about your cheating. I've already spoken to my colleagues about your antics and about what sort of person you are. They know what to expect.
That is not going to be an issue. It's fine, don't worry.
Hey, but I have that photo of you, remember? It's from when you were working in that strip club. So even though you spoke to your colleagues about the situation, they won't believe you after seeing this photo.
People from my company know that I used to do that sort of work. I was bartending there, so what? It's not something I've hidden from them. That's not going to be an issue.
Oh, come on! We had reached an agreement before, so don't get carried away by this. I am definitely going to make sure that you do the caring. You'll see.
I'm moving abroad, so I won't be able to do the care work anyway. I'm out of here.
Huh?
Well, because of something related to work, it's been decided that I'm going abroad. Exciting, isn't it?
I bet you are lying.
No, it's true. But why do I care if you don't believe what I'm saying? In all honesty, I have a better life than you anyway.
You are always so vain and pretentious. Guess what Johnny's salary is? He earns more than $70,000 in a year. I won't believe that you earn more than that amount. There is no way.
Huh, that's lower than my monthly wage.
Huh? What do you mean? That's obviously a joke.
Well, I'm the CEO of my company, and actually, the yearly turnover is over $7 million.
Are you serious?
If you used a detective agency to spy on me, how could you not even find that out?
Well, I guess I didn't check properly. And it costs a lot of money to do a full comprehensive search. So I went with just a basic check.
So you didn't even know that I was the CEO of this company.
But how did you get to be the CEO of such a popular cosmetics brand? I don't understand how you manage that. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, I made the most of my background in pharmacy. and then I set up a brand of makeup that was easy on people's skin. There was a huge buzz around it. I got a lot of attention.
Are you serious?
Yes, even people prone to allergies can use it without worrying. That's why it's so popular. The company garnered attention in the world of healthcare, and people from all around the world are big fans now and use this makeup regularly.
But how on earth did you start this business? After your divorce, you were thrown out without a cent to your name. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, I relinquished my assets, but I have my own savings. So that's what I did. And I had some acquaintances who were happy to invest in my idea. And talks continued smoothly until I started the business.
You have those sorts of acquaintances?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, it's the guy you took that photo of with me.
With that old man?
Yes, when I was working in those bars, he happened to be one of my regular clients. He approved of what I wanted to do and decided to take the leap and invest in me.
How can you get to be good friends with a rich man like that? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, well, that's because I was working in the most popular bar in Manhattan.
What a lie! An ugly girl like you?
It's well known that in these types of bars, the prettiest girls always make the best tips. Well, that's what people tend to think. But if you are cultivated, refined, and have good conversation skills, you can also do well. It doesn't matter if you are not the most beautiful girl in the room. You can still make a lot of money.
I don't understand this.
Well, you don't have a bad face. You're not bad looking at all. But you don't really know how to serve customers well. You were just working in a seedy lowbrow place, weren't you?
Huh? How did you know that?
Oh, you know how it goes. You hear things and gossip circulates. Apparently you never remember customers' faces and only talked about yourself. I'm not surprised. I heard clients used to call your stage the bathroom break. Oh, and the owner told me she's never had a girl get 0 lap dance requests since she opened the place.
Okay, well, we don't need to talk about it.
So you ended up not catching any patron to marry even into your 30s. That's why you changed your strategy, right? So you decided to snatch Johnny away from me and get married to him, a man of wealth and high social standing. That was your plan all along, wasn't it?
Well, Dad was close to retirement age at that time. So I thought I should get married as soon as possible. And Johnny had a good salary and was a doctor.
I'm disgusted with you. You really are a piece of work. But you know, in those days when you were working in the clubs, you were so vain and could not stop wearing expensive clothes all the time. You were always buying luxury jewelry as well. You got into debt buying all these beautiful things, didn't you?
Huh? How do you know about the debt as well? I can't believe this.
I heard from Mom. You also put the debt in Dad's name, didn't you? Apparently you borrowed over $7,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. But since being in debt, time has passed. 5 years has passed, to be exact. And before long, Dad repaid the debt. Did you know that? So it's all okay.
Huh? You didn't even pay back $1?
What?
You told Dad that you would pay it all back if you married someone rich, right? So you asked him to lend you money to cover the debt, right?
I remember that. So didn't Dad advance the money and pay it back?
But after getting into debt, you got married straight away to Johnny, didn't you? So in the end, Dad thought that it would be you who would pay back the money, since you got married to Johnny. But it doesn't seem like the money was repaid at all.
I did not hear that. That cannot be true. And anyway, if they want their money back, wouldn't there have been letters from the debt company demanding the money? I think they did come, but since I told Dad that you were the guarantor, they would come after you.
He thought that you would receive a similar letter about the debt. So he just ignored those letters.
Huh?
And today I checked our family affairs, the posts and all that stuff. And it looks like there is some correspondence from court.
Does that mean I'm going to get tried in court?
Well, you ignored the debt for a really long time. You are in a bad situation. That's usually what happens. You get summoned by court.
Please forgive me.
You and Dad. Well, this whole family. You are all pretty stupid, aren't you? I'm embarrassed that we are related and share the same genes.
Paying back $300K! It really is too much!
Well, if you include interest, it's about double that amount, isn't it?
Is it that much? You've got to be kidding me! I can't believe this!
Well, if you don't do anything and leave the debt to increase like that for 5 years, that's how much it ends up being. What goes around comes around. It's karma, isn't it?
Hey, you better help us out. We are family. That's what family is for.
Even though you are my family, it doesn't mean much, really. From a legal standpoint, there is no issue. I have no legal obligation to help out with the debt. It's not my responsibility. So I'm not going to help you guys out.
Well, I will ignore the debt as well then. It's all in Dad's name anyway. Nothing to do with me. Hey, but you are the guarantor, aren't you? So you have no choice.
If you ignore the debt, you'll be the one who ends up having to take it over, as the guarantor. So I wouldn't advise that.
Oh, I get it, okay. Well, I'm gonna ask Johnny for help. He'll help us out some way. I'm sure he'll work out a way. His yearly salary is $500,000.
I wonder if his yearly salary can deal with that this time.
Huh? What are you trying to say? What do you mean?
Oh, well, I just happened to hear something. Apparently, Johnny messed up at work. He made a big mistake, and it seems like he is gonna get sued.
You must be kidding me. What? So does this mean he's gonna get arrested?
Probably not to that point. But his patient is still suffering symptoms of his medical error. I think there will be some sort of financial penalty, and he will also be banned from practicing in the medical system.
So you are saying that he is not going to be a doctor anymore? Is that what you mean? You can't be serious.
Yes, it seems like it will end up like that for Johnny.
I can't believe this. Why now? This is the worst possible time for something like this to happen to us.
I guess Johnny's medical expertise is not quite there. He is not as skilled as you might think.
Why did you get married to a guy like him? I don't understand.
Well, he was a sociable and friendly guy, and popular as well. People liked him. And I like him too. I was attracted by that, which is why I wanted to get married to him. I didn't imagine that we would end up breaking up. I never imagined it would turn out like this.
Yes, it's true. He is a nice guy, popular, and always makes good conversation.
Well, that's the thing. Because he is such a friendly and sociable guy, he gets away with more. When those rumors spread about me, everyone ended up supporting Johnny. It was a really difficult period for me. No one seemed to want to believe my side of the story.
Yeah, but until this point, he hasn't messed up at work, has he? He was promoted 2 years ago, right? He has been a successful doctor for a while now. So making a mistake now, it's just a complete accident, isn't it?
Well, he was so liked by the people around him that his mistakes were getting covered up by his colleagues. However, up until this point, they weren't huge mistakes, so it wasn't as serious.
Well, it would be good if people could help him this time again. No? Why can't they help him now?
Well, when you become a professor, less and less people cover your mistakes for you. When I heard about Johnny's promotion, I thought to myself that he would eventually do something stupid and mess up somehow.
But if a doctor is promoted, isn't being skilled at the profession one of the most important things?
Well, skill is important, yes. But as is getting on well with colleagues, and also having a little bit of luck, to be honest. Johnny just had good timing, which is why he was promoted.
Huh?
But I'm glad we got divorced before anything serious happened. To be honest, I need to thank you for that. You kind of saved me. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry for everything until now. I feel so terrible about everything. Please forgive me. So come on. Please help me out. We are in a mess.
After all this, you suddenly change your attitude? How surprising.
I don't have anyone else to rely on. Please, can you help me? My parents-in-law don't like me either.
Huh? Why don't they like you?
They seemed concerned about you. It seemed like they couldn't forgive me for us getting married after Johnny's divorce. It was all too much for them to handle.
Oh, really? And I thought that no one really cared about me at the time. It seems that my father-in-law seemed to believe in me at least. I feel a bit better knowing that.
That's so unhelpful right now. I can't pay the rent. Please, can you do something? We're gonna have to leave everything. I'll listen to anything you have to say. Just please help me out. I already told you I'm sorry.
Well, wouldn't it make sense if you lived at our parents' house? Our parents already own their house, so you won't have any rent to pay, right? That's my advice.
But I'm gonna have to do the caring. I don't want to do that. It's gonna be awful.
Hey, you're a housewife, so you have plenty of free time, right? I'm sure you can do it. Come on, stop acting like a child.
Oh, please, Katie. I'm begging you. Can't you just give me even a little bit of money to help me out? It would mean so much.
No way. Anyway, I'm busy now. I've got things to do. I've got to go now. Bye. Johnny ended up receiving a ban from practicing medicine, and he was also fined. And as for the debt that Vicky built up, it was repaid in the end. But there were nearly no savings left between the two of them. Everyday life became harder for them. So the two of them went to live at our parents' house. And even though Vicky and my mom were both living there as long-term housewives, they didn't want to do the caring or do any work at all. Instead, they continued to be rude to each other, continuously trading selfish jibes. Johnny managed to find a job somewhere, so he started working. But his income was less than half of what he had been earning when he was a professor. Eventually, my sister also decided to start working a part-time job. But because of her ill-tempered and selfish nature, she did nothing but cause trouble. She was continuously changing jobs. And with no stable income, she spent her days being chased around, being made to care for Dad. Well, and as for me, things got even better. Work is going well abroad, and I am living happily. It was a tough path to get here. And as for my sister and my parents and my ex-husband, they got what they deserved, didn't they? I am so relieved. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.